You know what saddens me more than losing my Minecraft hardcore world? Makes me more depressed than losing my Pokemon Nuzlocke run. Makes me beyond devastated when my pancakes are blown up with mind. Radahn getting a nerf. Alright, can you believe it? My greatest adversary in my entire life got a nerf. This same adversary that made me cry inside for every possible attempt, that made me die 400 plus times just so I can kill him once, alright, got nerfed. Not even the gods themselves have challenged me as hard as Radahn has, and he got nerfed. Alright? It is crazy to me to think that one of the greatest creations that Mr. Michael Zaki himself, that he cooked up in his dinosaur lab to force feed us the players, just got nerfed. Alright? Now, Radahn getting nerfed is by no means like, whoa, a big thing, because like most things in life, and like most things in Elden Ring, a hard boss is going to get nerfed, but I don't understand why. All right, as I'm sitting here, I'm looking at like a page where it says why, but I still don't understand why. All right, for example, here, where is it? Players didn't merely criticize Radahn's overwhelming frantic attack patterns, but they often had to resort to completely different playstyles just to defeat the boss. You know what that sounds like to me? A skill issue. Alright, that sounds like a skill issue, because as a certified hood gamer myself, I have beaten Radahn without that issue, alright? Because I got good at the game. Did it make me go to different playstyles? Yes. Did I have to try different things? Yes. Why? Because it worked. Because whatever I was doing clearly wasn't working, and whatever I switched to would work. Now, if you have to change your different playstyle just to beat a boss, well, oh well, then whatever you were doing beforehand either wasn't working or you just simply are bad at the game where you have to play on an easier version of the game, aka making an uber strength build just to bonk everything in the forehead, similar to what I did. But whatever you had beforehand clearly either wasn't working or you were just bad at the game. Now, I don't want to, get my boxers in too much of a bunch here complaining about, oh, the Radahn nerf is unnecessary, which I personally think is so, because, again, as a God gamer myself, beating Radahn is something that is just, it warms my heart, my pride and joy of beating Radahn that I felt. And now, knowing that he got nerfed makes that feel empty. All right, that feeling is gone. There is now a gaping hole in my chest where that pride used to be, because all I would have to do is simply wait for about a couple months, and then he would get nerfed, and then the boss would get easier. But if you were to go back in time to the parts where I was fighting Radahn and ask me in my chat if I wanted Radahn to be nerfed, I would tell you no. I would not want Radahn to be nerfed because I wanted to pry godhood out of him with my bare hands, with my cold, bare hands, alright? Everything about Radahn, everything about fighting Radahn made you feel like you were actually fighting a god. It made you feel like a god yourself because if you beat the base game and then went to DLC, that's exactly what you were, a god, alright? And let's not even talk about fighting the glorified space fish that is the Elden Beast. That's not a boss fight. That's a chore, alright? It's like walking your dog, alright? Sometimes you don't want to do it, but honestly, you don't have much of a choice, alright? It feels like I'm walking the dog, having a nice, lovely stroll downtown, and then the Elden Beast phase comes out, and it's as if like a Karen is telling me I'm a part of the problem, alright? That's what it feels like to fight the Elden Beast, alright? It is. I hate fighting that fish. It kind of brings like a big goofy smile to my face knowing that you can bring Torrent into the fight as well. Like you and your bestest pal fighting on essentially the god of Elden Ring, which doesn't even stand close to Radahn, but the god of the base game as it would be. But honestly, if you're good at the game or you already understand how Elden Beast works, you don't need Torrent. But I can understand why, or I can see a few places where Torrent would be useful, like in his sword slash moves or his big wave attack, or if you're just trying to escape his fire breath and you're not close enough to go next to him. But again, if you're a certified hood gamer like me, or just really good at the game and understand all of his movesets, you don't really have to worry about Radahn, or not Radahn, sorry. You don't have to worry about Elden Beast being a problem. But again, I'm getting off topic here. Let's head back to Radahn, all right? You see, I haven't touched Elden Ring since I beat Radahn. Well, that's not true. I played a couple games, did a few little challenge runs, but I never beaten them because I kind of got bored of Elden Ring. I know that sounds like blasphemy. It's like he got bored of Elden Ring. How dare you? But listen, 400 plus attempts is unheard of for me. All right, that is a lifelong lesson that I will keep with me until I die. Not even Melania took me 400 attempts. Melania, when I first beat Melania for the first time ever, got the achievement for it. It took me less than 50 attempts. Less than 50 attempts it took me to get good and understand all of Melania's moves. And ever since then, ever since that moment, I've beaten Melania without dying. Alright? Less than 10 attempts, less than 5 attempts, first tries. Melania is nothing to me. I mean, again, I haven't played in a hot minute, so if I were to fight Melania now, I'd probably get absolutely manhandled, but during my prime as an Elden Ring player, Melania was nothing compared to me, alright? Radahn whooped me, alright? Flipped me like a pancake and just yeeted me against a wall like a wet paper, alright? I got destroyed by Radahn. And seeing him get nerfed brings a little teardrop running down to my cheek. It makes me a little sad, okay? And the reason I even how I came to know that Radahn got nerfed, because I don't really keep up with like patch notes coming out for games, right? I saw Let Me Solo Her streaming, as you do, as a gamer of my magnitude does, late night chillaxing, just watching some Let Me Solo Her, help out some of these casuals fighting Radahn, helping them win. Just can't even do it by themselves. What nerds? Whatever, right? And I noticed that his 3-move combo, his doozy of a maneuver got slower. All right, that cross slash attack where he brings out his left move or his left sword, his right sword, and then brings them together for a massive finale, demanding an applause as he slashes both swords across your face. And if you don't dodge it perfectly, you're going to be getting 5 tons of meteorite down your throat. Seeing that move get slower at first was like, huh? Am I simply better? Am I watching this at like a million times more frames? Why is this slow? Because normally you have to like dodge into his thigh and hold on to his right cheek in order to possibly dodge it perfectly, because dodging that move perfectly is an uber bitch to do, right? It is painful. And I barely did it half the time. I was very surprised most of the time whenever I properly dodged that move, but seeing it get slower uh, weirded me out a little bit, because that second slash usually comes out lightning fast. Like if you're not pulling a Doctor Strange, seeing every possible outcome and not predicting that move coming out, you're getting whacked across the face. All right, there is no try, there is no do. You are going to get hit. And seeing it slower, and as one of the main things that got nerfed about Radahn, weirds me out, because when I first saw it, I was like, huh, maybe I'm just better at the game. Maybe I'm seeing this differently. Maybe, there's some black magic happening here. Maybe I have improved as an Elden Ring player, as a Souls player, that I can see far beyond what Radahn can do. But no, the fact is that Radahn got nerfed, alright? I did not get better, Radahn got worse, right? And it saddens me, because now from every point on, everyone has to fight him on easy mode, alright? Now I don't want to brag about saying, oh, I beat Radahn on, pre-nerf, but I did. I beat Radahn before he got nerfed, alright? The same Radahn that made Kai Cenat cry, alright? That put many streamers into just an overall headlock and just yucking them across the stage, using them as like a punching bag. That's the same Radahn that is now nerfed, and all of his damage also got nerfed, which is incredible. Why would you damage his nerf, or damage his nerf? Yep, I'm very terrible at English. They nerfed his damage, right? It's different. It's not the same. But as I said, I don't want to complain too much, because knowing that, well, Radahn's easier now, because makes my life easier. You know, if I ever go back to the DLC, pay Radahn a visit, have a little catch-up tea party with him, fighting him is going to be a lot easier. And I'm not really one to complain about life being easier, by no means, right? Life being easier just means I don't have to try as hard. But every time I play the DLC from now on, every time I fight Radahn, every time I boot up Elden Ring for that matter, I will always, forever remember two things. Radahn, he's just not the same that he once was, and that stupid fucking sunflower. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to get off my chest for today. Not too much, but I'll see you guys next time. Bye!